Welcome back to Battle for Arcos. There are spoilers ahead, so if you would like to see the events leading up to this point, be sure to go back and watch the first episode. The events of Episode 2 takes place mere days after Episode 1. Rico's Roughnecks are recovering from a dust-up with the Lodge of the Damned. Rico wounded one of his own men in battle, Bull, who is currently out of service. Double Tap was found in the alley with cleaver wounds and barely clinging to life. Jester bled out and was lost in the fray. Rico and his Roughnecks inflicted damage to the lodge as well. Skullock, the Butcher, was killed, as was Malefice and the lone initiate, Toe Cutter, with a bullet to the back of the head. A greater calling with the Lodge of the Damned will make their retribution swift. The stage is set, as Captain Rico and his Roughnecks are again out on patrol. I hope you enjoy.
The captain has his men back in the area.
Good. It is time. The master now guides my hand. Prepare the lodge. Prepare for blood.
How are the rookies doing, Sergeant? So far, so good, Captain. At this rate, we'll be home in plenty of time to watch the Reavers versus the Quiet. Did you hear that?
While out on patrol, Rico's Roughnecks hear a piercing cry. Bale has returned for his head. With deployment complete, the objective for both sides is to take out as many fighters as possible. A roll for priority goes to the Enforcers for turn 1.
This is Tomahawk. I'm opening the door. I've got him. Frag out.
After using his first action to open the door, Tomahawk uses his second action to fire his grenade launcher, which misses the target. The shot then scatters, hitting no one. With an open shot at Tomahawk, Festermite aims his auto pistol and fires, but due to Tomahawk's evade ability, the shot needs 5s to hit and misses.
This is Ghost. I'm moving up to take point and taking my shot.
Ghost moves to the front and targets Festermite with his step gun. Needing 4s to hit, the shot is a success. The ammo check also passes, and a wound is made. However, the plate mail saves the initiate. Corlock then makes a double move up to the door.
This is Ace. I'm moving into position. Safety off.
After getting into position, Ace fires, but misses. Skoragor then does a double move up the ladder and onto the structure.
This is Hotshot. There's one up top. I'm taking the shot.
Although Hotshot aims, the target is in partial cover and his shot misses. Gorath then moves closer, just on the other side of the pipe.
Men, this is Captain Rico. I've got one in sight. Shoot to kill.
Captain Rico, needing 5s to hit, rolls 2 dice on his step gun and misses. Mephisto then moves up to the door with a double move.
Roadblock on the move.
Prepare to overrun them.
With the tension mounting, Hammer takes aim and fires, needing 3s to hit. At Strength 3 versus Toughness 3, a 4 is needed to wound Skoragor. Skoragor then fails his 5-up armor save and goes down with a serious injury.
Mend flesh with me.
A charge is announced from Killsaw, getting a total of 7 inches and into base-to-base contact. Killsaw strikes with 2 red dice from the bone sword and 1 black dice from his sidearm, needing 4s to hit. 4s are needed to wound, in which the bone sword finds his mark. Ghost is sitting on a 3-up save, however, and the bone sword clatters off the armor.
12 gauge, on the double up that wall. We need overwatch.
Raziel attempts to charge, but ends up well short.
Merlin, I need you to reposition. You're too damn close.
At the end of turn 1, with an injury inflicted on Skorogor, the bottle check was successful, but Skorogor remained down after failing his recovery test. Captain Rico radios to HQ to let them know he feels like the gates of hell are about to open. Priority rolls are out with the enforcers, and the black dice are up in turn 2. 12 gauge, seeing an injured Skorogor and anxious to prove himself, runs over and executes him with a shotgun. Filled with rage, Raziel charges Ace. The attack of a Lodge Ganger with Fury on the charge with a Butcher's Cleaver and a Chain Cleaver is always a sight to see. 4 swings, but only 1 finds their mark. Ace was even more unlucky, however, as his armor save was rolled, and it was a 1. The damage done was 2, so he takes a flesh wound and a serious injury. As Ace falls to the ground, a nearby cool check by Tomahawk was passed, which also calms Ghost. Tomahawk then attempts to try to save his friend, and opens fire on Raziel. The shot misses, however, and as fate would have it, the gun runs out of ammunition. Tomahawk then used his second action to fall back. Killsaw then activates, needing 4s to hit. His bone sword in red finds the mark. He then wounds on a 4. Ghost has a 3-up save, but fails, and goes down with a serious injury. Killsaw then sees an opportunity to finish him off. Hammer then wishes to bring the melee to the corpse grinders. He passes a willpower test, and he needs a 7 to make it into combat. D3 plus 5 is exactly what he gets, and a melee ensues. Tomahawk brings all of his strength to bear, hitting with a 5 and a 6 against Raziel. Only 1 wound is able to get through, however. Raziel laughs devilishly as it chinks off of his chainmail. Raziel then turns to swing, hitting twice, but the parry rule forces him to re-roll the 3, and it turns into a miss. A wound does go through against Hammer, but a save is made, and the 2 stay locked in combat. The streets have descended into chaos as bodies continue to pile up. Festermite is able to get to his feet and then shoots at 12 gauge with his auto pistol. Due to partial cover, the shot needs 5s to hit and misses. Hotshot, knowing what's about to come through the door, takes high ground and moves up onto the structure. Gorath announces a charge and needs a full D3 to get into contact, which he gets. With the Butcher's Chain Cleaver in red and the regular cleaver in black, Gorath takes 4 swipes, needing 3s to hit. Gorath then needs 3s to wound and scores 1 wound with the regular Butcher's Cleaver. The cleaver penetrated his armor, and 12 gauge collapsed. Roadblock then turns the corner, pulls out his stub gun, and fires at Killsaw. Needing 4s to hit with the open shot, it hits. The bullet fails to make a wound though, and Killsaw remains unscathed. With everyone now in position, Corlock is commanded to open the door. For his second action, he moves forward into the room. Captain Rico then turns to position himself for a shoot and scoot. Captain Rico targets Mephisto and needs to pass a willpower check, which is successful. He then fires 2 shots with his stub gun, needing 4s to hit. Once again, the shots fail to wound, needing 4s. Rico then falls back to a safer position. Bale then announces a charge, which he could have made, at max dice roll, but the dice comes up short, and he only moves approximately 6 inches. The rookie Merlin then activates, passing a willpower test he fires at Bale. The shot, however, completely misses the target. Merlin then uses his second action to fall back for cover. Mephisto uses an action to stand up and then moves into the alleyway. Turn 2 over, Rico is on the brink of being overrun. Pressure from both doors and sounds of cleavers scraping the walls are making his men uneasy. Bullets aren't finding their targets. Cool checks are made with the enforcers in black and the corpse grinders in red. Both pass. 12 Gauge can't muster the strength to return to his feet, and Ace no longer has a heartbeat on the scanner. The corpse grinders continue to push forward as the streets run red, and the ever-important initiative goes to the corpse grinders for turn 3.
Charge with me and bring me his head.
Bale activates nearby fighters and can charge with a D6 instead of the normal D3. He gets into contact with Hotshot and readies his saw. Overwhelmed, the rookie patrolman had no chance as Bale's saw hits on 2s. 2 hits go through. The saw then wounds on 3s. At AP-2, the saw slices straight through the armor, causing 4 total damage and separating his head from his shoulders. Mephisto then activates and charges Tomahawk, needing a 1 on a D3 to make it into contact. With the heavy cleaver in red and the regular cleaver in black, 3s are needed to hit. 2 hits go through. Fortunately for Tomahawk, who is disarmed, the wound rolls miss. He turns to swing unarmed, but does nothing. The third activation for the grinders sees Corlock move up and prepare to engage the rookie patrolman. Hammer activates next, swinging his shock baton, needing 4s to hit. The attack does nothing, however, as 4s are also needed to wound. Raziel strikes back with his chain cleaver in red, needing 3s to hit. Both swings also fail to wound, and these 2 stay locked up in combat. Killsaw turns, aims, and fires at Roadblock, needing 3s to hit. There is an ammo check, which passes. The roll to wound, however, fails with a 1. Roadblock, pinned, immediately stands up and returns fire, but misses. Gorath takes out 12 Gauge and repositions. Rico activates and charges into combat. He brings 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. The wound rolls again fail, leaving the enforcers to question their equipment. Mephisto then slashes back twice and misses both times. Raziel activates next with his cleavers, needing 3s to hit, and gets 2 hits. Wound rolls of 3 up are needed. A 3-up armor save is rolled and passes. Hammer then swings back, needing 4s to hit, landing a hit, and then he needs 4s to wound. The plate mail and Skinner's mask save the Ganger, and the two will stay locked up exchanging blows. Vestermite then attempts to charge, but doesn't roll well enough to get into contact. Tomahawk activates next alongside Captain Rico but fails to hit. Mephisto swings back, hitting twice, and then those hits turn into wounds. Tomahawk fails an armor save and hits the deck. Rico takes a cool check and fails. An initiative check is passed as Rico turns to run. Mephisto also passes an initiative check, which gives him reaction attacks. And that's what he does, slashing at the fleeing captain. He hits once. He wounds. And the fleeing captain, in his haste, fails his armor save. 2 damage is dealt out, and the captain crumbles with a serious injury and a flesh wound. The last rookie patrolman, Merlin, fires at Corlock, but misses. With turn 3 complete, the enforcers are all but routed. A bottle check for the enforcers with the black die fails. Captain Rico and Sergeant Tomahawk both move to pen status, but both have taken flesh wounds from Mephisto, lowering their toughness. Hammer and Raziel continue to scrape metal. Bale has the enforcers right where he wants them, as the corpse grinders win priority for turn 4.
I've come for you.
Bale announces a charge and moves into contact with Captain Rico. His flimsing saw shoots out with 3 attacks, needing 2s to hit. The saw causes 1 wound. Captain Rico fails the save and again goes down with an injury. Tomahawk remains calm and gets back to his feet. He swings at Mephisto, but doesn't have the strength to make an impact. Mephisto then swings back with his cleavers, missing both times. Raziel then swings at Hammer with the red die representing the heavy chain cleaver. Both hit, and even with parry, it wounds. Hammer takes a flesh wound and attempts to fight back but misses. Exhausted and slow to act, Hammer swings at Raziel with a shock baton, hitting. He then wounds, but Raziel makes an armor save, and it's all for nothing. Raziel then reacts with his cleavers, hitting once, and also making a wound. This time, Hammer would not make an armor save and would collapse heroically on his shield. Killsaw then aims and fires at Roadblock, but misses. The rookie patrolman, Merlin, knowing his fate is sealed, makes a charge at Korogor, hoping for 5s. The attacks were futile though, and miss. Korogor responds, hitting with his cleaver, and then dealing a wound, and Merlin takes an injury. Korogor finishes the fighter and moves to the door. Roadblock then aims and shoots at Killsaw, needing 3s to hit. After a success, the hit wounds, and Killsaw fails the save due to the weapon's AP. Killsaw is knocked back and falls with a serious injury. Vestermite then runs up and takes Hammer out of action. Mephisto activates next, swinging with both cleavers and hitting. He then causes 1 wound with the Butcher's Cleaver. Tomahawk fails the armor save and goes down again. Gorath then jumps down to take a position in the middle. At the end of the round, Rico and his Roughnecks are in critical condition. Rico succumbs to his wounds. Tomahawk rolls back over and is pinned, and Killsaw stays down with a serious injury. Priority rolls go out for the next turn, with the tie going to the enforcers. Tomahawk, barely able to move, stands up and takes a swing at Mephisto, scoring a hit. The hit turns into a wound, and Mephisto fails his armor save, but only takes a flesh wound. Mephisto has 1 wound left and reacts with his cleavers, scoring 2 hits. 2 wounds are made due to Tomahawk's lowered toughness, but 2 armor saves are made.
Taste the blood of your captain on my blade.
Bale, after charging into Tomahawk, rolls 3 dice needing 2s to hit. He then wounds easily, also needing 2s. Armor saves are failed, and Tomahawk goes out of action. Seeing the carnage, Roadblock fails his cool test and flees the battlefield. With the battle over, the Enforcers are decimated 10-1. The scenario set up well for close combat as the Lodge only had to deploy 8 inches away. The Enforcers, however, lacked accuracy and firepower when it counted. Rico's body was carried off by Bale. The rest of the Enforcers were left for dead, if they weren't already. Their fates left to the gods. The Lodge have now made themselves known among the Underhive. The uprising begins. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit long, and I'm obviously not a professional. Numerous mistakes were made, but in making these videos, it is helping me understand the game more. It's really fun, and I hope to expand with more gangs in the future. Feel free to share any comments or things I got wrong so I can improve with whatever happens in episode 3.